Welcome to our 12th episode of One Cardinal, One Cub, and One Beer. And this is the most special episode we've ever had because it is the birthday of one Jerome Johann Jackson. I don't know what JJ stands for. What does it stand for, by the way?
It's a long story, but basically it's John Jr. My dad named every kid after him. I'm John D. Jackson. My brother is John Thomas Jackson. My sister is Jonna Jackson, and my other sister Jody Jackson. So I'm JJ because I'm John Jr. I'm the oldest.
Kind of like George Foreman.
George Foreman, but I ain't got no grill.
I promise you, I think that Jerome Johann Jackson is a funner name, but
I like that. I like that better.
I do too. In order to
you can call me Three Fingers.
Celebrate your birthday, I have a candle here and a cake.
Bless your heart.
There Max, we go. You want to help us sing happy birthday to JJ so I don't sing a solo?
I think I'll pass.
I'll join in. Hey.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jerome Johann John Jr. Jackson. Happy birthday to me. Blow out the candle.
That was beautiful.
Blow out the candle.
This might be a long show.
Blow out the damn candle.
That's all I got.
Okay. Are you ready for your gifts?
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. Always ready for a gift.
By the way, you're male, so how old are you?
I am. This is 59.
59. Wow.
That's ancient.
Well, your first gift is a Mark McGuire McDonald's glass. This was after the 97 season, so it was before he hit the 70. And it's got statistics on it, like he was the first player to hit 20 home runs for 2 different teams in the same year. And stuff like that. So yeah, his rookie year hit 49. First Cardinal player ever to hit an opening day grand slam, stuff like that. So that's your first gift.
Fantastic. It'll go in a place of honor.
Your second gift is a glass drinking what do you call these? Thermos, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's the last run, and it's got Pujols,
oh my
god, and Carpenter etched into it.
Vince, I love that.
Straw too. So
all right.
Hey, your birthday only comes around a couple times a year, so that's good. Yeah, we have to celebrate.
My gosh, thank you. That's fantastic. I love it.
Housekeeping while I lick the ice.
Yeah.
Man, your cake is good.
Hey, man, I've already gained 5 pounds looking at it.
Follow us on social media. If you need to email us, contact us through email, onecard1cup1beer@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We have Patreon coming at the beginning of the year. This is fantastic. If you want to subscribe, and we want you to subscribe, please hit the icon in the bottom right-hand corner. JJ, do you have an update on our contest?
Yes, I do. Now, Korea just signed a big contract. 13 years? $350 million with the Giants. Yes. Everybody who entered our contest got it wrong. Everybody. There was people who said the White Sox, the Cubs, the Red Sox. There was 6, 7 different choices. I thought I had it all right in front of me here. Oh, here it is. People said Korea, Cubs, Red Sox, Cubs, Dodgers, Phillies. A lot of choices. But nobody said the Giants. So here's the deal. Out of 4 free agents that's been signed, Robbie Spear from Union, Missouri has 3 right. We have 2 people that's been in the contest that's got 2 right. We still have Andrew Benintendi left. They can only tie Robbie, and that is Kevin Lee from Festus and Ray Hartman from DeSoto, Missouri. But the tiebreaker is how many years Korea signed for, And Kevin Lee said 7 years, and Ray Hartman said 4, because I guess they both thought that he'd get another shot at free agency. But Robbie said 8, so he holds the tiebreaker as well. So Robbie Spear, Union, Missouri, is the first winner of our first one Cardinal, one Cub, one beer contest, and it's this 1942 World Championship mug right there. And I got his address. I'll be sending that out to him this weekend. So congratulations, Robbie Spear. Fantastic. I also have go ahead.
So it doesn't matter whatever Benintendi does. So
that's right.
Max, who did you have Correa going to?
I had him going to the Cubs.
Okay.
And
so
I'm actually just looking at all my picks right now, and I was very wrong. I think I only had one of them correct.
Oh, I thought you had 3. So
no,
what did you have?
I had Rizzo. I had Rizzo and Jock. So I guess I had 2.
Okay.
2 of the 4.
That's that's exactly what I had too. It's tough. You never know. It's got to be a perfect fit. And of course, according to these days, only 10 teams have that kind of money. I did see the Mets have a 4 with the penalties on going over the salary cap. The Mets payroll is $410 million right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That luxury tax is wicked.
When you hit that top tier, it's 90 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
So man, that's rough. So I'll be pulling for everybody but the Mets this year. If the Mets and the Cubs are playing, I'm putting on my Cub outfit and I'm cheering for the Cubbies. Anybody but the Mets is my mantra this year.
So you have a Cubs outfit?
No, I'm gonna get me a jersey one day. I'm Ernie Banks, the blue Ernie Banks. That's what I'm gonna get when
there
I.
There you go. Cubs. Speaking of birthdays, Ferguson Jenkins just turned 80.
I did read
that past week. So
happy birthday, Fergie.
He's a regular listener, I'm sure. Watches.
I've heard on the streets.
If you notice, my son Max is back visiting with us, and he does not have his video working. He's home for winter break from school, and he decided to break his arm pumping iron about 3 weeks ago. How's the arm recovering?
It's doing pretty well. It doesn't hurt anymore, so it's very nice.
Can you notice that your right arm, your good arm is? Are you still working out with that, or just kind of quit working out for right now?
No, not really. I think I'm going to take a break for a while.
Take a break.
But if them.
All right, JJ, what's going on in Cardinal world?
Well, I wanna send a shout out first. Okay. I have reserved I am a nurse. I actually have 3 jobs. One of the jobs I worked at, I've been at for 29 years. I work at a place called Ponybird. Anyway, I work there. I love the people, and I hear this 3 times, 3 different weeks. Every morning, at least once a week, they put on 1 Cardinal, 1 Cub, and 1 beer, and they listen to it. And when they say, "Guys, you want us to turn the channel?" After a while, they say, "No, they want to watch it." Good. So yeah, so I'm sending a little shout out to Steve, Mark Carroll, William Doffett, and Bobby Zell. And I have heard that they may start one of the mini Vince Opper fan clubs. So I'm just saying, you guys, you better keep your Cardinal stuff in your room. I don't want to see any Cubs stuff sneaking in there, guys. So, guys, thanks for listening. And William, it's always good to see you, buddy. So
Thank you.
Yeah, that's nice of them. I heard that last night from Dan Rutledge was telling me of that this morning they just love it when they get up in the morning. They put that on and eat their breakfast. So that's fantastic.
Cool.
A lot of rumors in Cardinal land. We got Wilson Contreras, but there's been a lot of rumors. But some of these the prices of some of these free agents, I just can't see the Cardinals doing it. The price of giving up your prospects are just the dollar signs on some of these contracts. I'd love to dream that we could get Carlos Rondon, a lefty, maybe a 5-year deal. But when any time the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Dodgers or Phillies or Mets are involved, I just don't think we can outspend those guys. So I know we got like a Rule 5 guy from the Dodgers. But I can't. I'm terrible with names. I can't say half of these names.
I made a mistake last week. When I edited this, I said, "Did you hear who the Yankees picked up from Rule 5?" I meant to say the Cardinals.
Cardinals. Oh,
the Cardinals picked up from the Yankees. Wilkins was his first name, and I can't remember his last name. but he's thrown a little bit in the majors. So
Well, if this is the team we go to spring training with, I won't be terribly upset. I'd like to see him get another bat. I like that Pirate outfielder, the switch hitter that wants to be traded. But now I'm hearing they want a package sort of like Soto got with the Padres, and we ain't giving that up. That'd be nice to have him, but not for that. So I'm excited about the young players coming up and the veterans we have. And I'd like to get maybe one more bat or one more arm. And if we got Rondon, I'd be it'd be Merry Christmas for all the Cardinal fans. And really, that's about it happening in Cardinal land right now. Just a lot of rumors.
In Cub land, there's a lot happening because there's nothing happening. We were in on Senga. He goes to the Mets, 5 years, $75 million. That's $15 million a year. That's nothing. The Cubs could have outbid that. I don't know what's going on. I will get there in a moment. Bassett, he signed with Toronto, 3 years, $68 million. Okay. I kind of think that that was an outlier last year. He had a really good year with the Mets, but I don't think that, the rest of his career hasn't looked like that. So I wouldn't have given him 3 years, $68 million. Josh Bell, I had some interest in for the Cubs. He went to Cleveland, 2 years, $33 million. We need a catcher. I don't think we need a catcher as bad as some other people think we need a catcher. I think Max is a little more, we need a catcher more than I am. I don't have a problem with Gomes. We need a solid backup catcher. PJ Higgins is our backup. He seems to have flashes of offense, but defensively, as a backup catcher, I want something that's a little bit more polished defensively. But Christian Vasquez, the catcher for the Red Sox, he went to the Twins, 3 years, $30 million. I don't know why we did not bid that. We're the Cubs. We have a ton of cap space. We have a ton of revenue. These people that would be an asset to us, why are we getting outbid by the Twins and the Guardians? Xander Bogaerts, one of the big fish. He went to the Padres, 11 years, $280 million. Is the end of that contract going to look good? No. What they are doing is, instead of signing them for a high average salary with shorter years, they're expanding the years so they can expand that payout a little bit and leave them more cap room as the years roll on. That's why they're getting these massively long contracts. They're getting the money that they want, but instead of getting them for like 7, 8 years, the teams are extending them so they have cap space. And I shouldn't say cap space, room under the luxury tax, because it's not really a cap, it's a luxury tax. Carlos Correa broke my heart. He chose the Giants, 13 years, $350 million. That means that the only shortstop of the 4 that are left is Dansby Swanson. We may be in the driver's seat because he's on his honeymoon right now, and he just married, I think she's a midfielder for the women's professional soccer team that's in Chicago. So maybe he wants to be around her all year long. Maybe that would work out for them. So hopefully. Murphy, Sean Murphy, he got traded to the Braves in a 3-player deal that also sent William Contreras to the Brewers. What impressed me most is that the Brewers only gave up a draft pick to get William Contreras, who was an all-star last year. Like his brother, he's more of an offensive catcher. Why couldn't we have gotten William Contreras? I don't know. If the Brewers are very shrewd, they kind of know what they're doing. Aside from the contract of Christian Yelich, which what can you do about that? They seem to pull the right strings. We did have a free agent signing, and we plucked him from you. We have Ben DeLuzio.
Oh, yeah, he's a speed demon.
Yeah. Well, he's now a Cub. We signed him to a minor league contract. So there's our revenge for Wilson Contreras. You I'm sure we're going to get the better end of this. So, um,
I wish him all the best. He's a good kid. He works hard, and you got wisdom over there too at ex Cardinal. So I always pull for those guys, except against the Cardinals.
it's looking bleak in Wrigleyville. Um, I don't know what's going on. We've been told that the GM or the president of baseball operations, Jed Hoyer, was told by the owner, Tom Ricketts, go out and spend and get the players. And we're getting outspent for Christian Vasquez and Josh Bell and some players. I thought, that's not making sense to me. So I don't know if there is something going on. We're not knowing everything. I do know this. When Theo was our GM, Theo got people. He did the Jason Hayward deal. Not everything turned to gold, but man, he was aggressive and man, things happen. And all we have to show for this free agent season so far is we have Jamison Tyone and Cody Bellinger. I mean, last year, in a year where we weren't going to blow the checkbook, we spent, I don't know, 140 million on free agents. This year we've spent like 80 million. And this is the year we're supposed to have the open checkbook. I don't get what's going on in Wrigleyville. Max, you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll defend the front office a little bit. It is only December, what, 14th? So, and there's still a couple of guys who haven't signed yet who are going to get those bigger contracts. And some of them do make sense for the Cubs, and Swanson is one of them. In terms of his production, it kind of reminds me of Baez's. And so it would not surprise me in this market if you got 200 million. And I think the Cubs are going to be willing to go for that, as they really do need offense. And he's more of a defense first guy, but he's still an above average hitter overall. And as far as the rotation goes, they've got a lot of depth guys, and it's basically a bunch of threes right now between Steele and Stroman. And if they do re-sign Smiley, I think that would be another three-type guy. And you also have just guys you don't know about. You don't know about Wesneski. You don't know about Hendricks. Pitching-wise, I think they're almost done, especially with Tyone being added. I think they're one starter. They're probably going to get one more starter, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was going to be one of the guys on the lower end of free agency, probably not a Rodon. Because I don't know. I still have faith that they're going to spend. But because like last year, before the lockout, they only got Stroman, I think. And so for the entirety of the lockout, we were in the same position, right? Where they'd only committed, I don't know, what, $70 million. And it wasn't looking great. And then, of course, the lockout ends and Seiya signs and they pick up some other guys. Obviously, I want people like Correa. But sometimes that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
That's my little rant.
this time it didn't happen. I do think we're in the driver's seat for Swanson, which I'm fine with. When I see the Bogart's got 11 years, 280 million, that's what I'm thinking. Swanson's going to be in that ballpark. He's not Correa, and he's not Trey Turner, but he, I think, is definitely in the same category as Bogarts. And it's just a year where so many people need shortstops, and the four best shortstops are free agents this year, and there's not enough teams to go around for them. So huge bidding war, and they're all winning. So all right, what I'm going to do, and I was going to do a spotlight on Kerry Wood. I'm going to table that because this may take a little bit of time. JJ's still going to do a spotlight, but I'm going to go through what the Cubs need. We are in need of one more starting pitcher. We need a catcher. We need a middle infielder, and we need a third baseman. And I want to go through the remaining free agents that have a little bit of name cachet. I'm not going through everybody, but let's start with starting pitching. And the big guy's still out there, Carlos Rodon. 30 years old. He has a home in Chicago. He's building a home in Texas, but he's got roots in Chicago. What do you think about Rodon and Cubby Blue, gentlemen?
Go ahead, Max.
All right, I'll go first. I mean, he's a strikeout guy. He hasn't been the healthiest in his career, but over the past 2 seasons, he's thrown like, I don't know, a little over 300 innings. Would slot in very nicely into the Cubs rotation, into anyone's rotation for the most part. I think he would be either a 1 or a 2 on almost every single contender. But I think the main issue is going to be health again. I mean, you don't know if this is a sustainable amount of, innings. Another point to that is he's going to be really expensive. I think he's the best starter on the market that's left by without a doubt. I mean, he's going to get 7 years. He's going to get a lot of money. He's on the younger side. I think he's 30. I think 30. Yeah.
Yes.
So he might be looking for one of those longer deals, like 6 or 7 years. It's not the Cubs' MO to give out those types of deals, at least not since the Hayward contract. So I don't think he'll be a Cub, but I do want him.
I think he's terrible for the Cubs because I want the Cardinals to get him. It's purely selfish reasons. I love this guy. This is the one guy I thought we should go get. If we're going to get a pitcher, this was the guy. He's a lefty. He's just, I consider your prime years 27 to 32. He's 30 years old. He's a lefty. And if anything, the Phillies showed us if you have 2 studs in your rotation, and we're hoping Flaherty can be that other hit and miss guy. All the other Cardinal pitchers are good, and I love them all, but they're more, hit, they pitch in the strike zone and make them hit it on the ground or pop it up, pitch to contact kind of guys. Wainwright, Montgomery, and Michaelis and those guys. But if we had Flaherty, even a glimpse of what he at his height, and Rondon, I'd be so happy. Knowing the Cardinals, we'd probably go 5 years. I don't know. It's not my money, but I bet we could go about 5 years. It's something he'd like. And it seems like Goldschmidt and Arenado and our defense, the strength of our team is our defense, might attract a pitcher that would want to pitch in a pitcher's park with that defense back there. So I'm hoping if we don't get him, I'm happy with what we got. We got a lot of young guys coming up, but the question was, is he a good match for the Cubs? Yeah, he's a good match for any team, but I hope the Cardinals get him. Yeah,
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
To that point,
Go ahead.
What the Phillies do, all you need in October is 2 stud pitchers. That's basically it. On the 3rd day, you can do a bullpen day. And yeah, Flaherty, Rodon would be just a knockout combo in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's all I just wanted to add.
I like the way you think, Max.
Mm-hmm.
Yay or nay, Nathan Eovaldi?
A lot of injuries.
32.
Yeah. I'm gonna say no.
I'd say no.
No.
What about yay or nay on a 39-year-old Zach Greinke?
1 year?
I thought he was gonna retire.
He's free agent.
Huh.
If you guys want to go 1 year and he could work with all the young guys, I mean, he's had a lot of success. Maybe show the young guys how to do it right, and that'd be a good veteran for the team if the price is right.
Yeah, he actually had a pretty good season.
He was decent. I'd pass on him because if you're looking for leadership, we have that with Stroman and Hendricks. So I'm not so worried about that. Mike Minor, yay or nay? 35 years old.
No.
Any Royals pitcher, I'm going to say nay on.
Except Bill Singer. Bill Singer's pretty good.
What about Corey Kluber? 36 years old. The Cubs have expressed a little bit of interest in him. I personally really don't care for
him.
Yeah, I think a guy like Smiley would just be a better option in that price range.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with y'all.
Wade Miley pitched for the Cubs last year, 36 years old, dealt with some injuries. Want to bring him back, Max?
Maybe not as a starter. I know the clubhouse really liked him, but I don't know if he can be a starting pitcher. I mean, he was just so injured this year. When he did pitch, though, he was pretty decent.
Maybe a long reliever?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
What I like about Miley is he just gets the ball and throws it. There's no,
Oh, he's so fast.
yeah. And now this is one that kind of perks my ears up a little bit. A 31-year-old Michael Walker who had a really good year for the Red Sox last year.
Ooh,
He could be a
I'm
number
not
4 on
super.
your team. Number 4
Yeah,
on
I
your
mean,
team.
I think with Walker being a right-hander, if we could get him and limit him to 22, 23 starts and then get a oh, what's his name? Keegan Thompson, some starts in there. I think that I could live with that.
yeah.
Jordan Lyles, 32, pitched for Baltimore last year.
He's not a great pitcher, but what he does really well is he eats innings like a madman, basically. I think last season he threw like almost 200. Yeah, he threw 180, which I think is about 50 more than any of the Cubs starters last year. So, in that role, where he just needs to just get out there and throw 7 innings of 3 or 4 run ball, I mean, I'd be completely fine with that.
I can see baseball moving to a 6-man rotation one day. The way they're trying to save the arms, and if you've got a guy who can eat anything over 200 innings, man, that can really help your bullpen out, save your starters an extra day off. He could be very valuable. That'd be a good pickup.
Yeah.
We've already talked about Drew Smiley. I talked about him on a previous episode. I am totally on board with bringing him back, and I think he's going to come back.
Yeah, I agree.
How about a 43-year-old Rich Hill?
I'd say no.
If we were still in an era where you could bring in a left-hander to face one batter, he'd pitch till he's 50 with that curveball. But that's what he is now. So, and he does not like the role that he was relegated in last year with Boston. He did not like being told. He didn't like with the Dodgers either. You're only going through the lineup twice. That's it. Then you're out. He didn't like that. Dylan Bundy pitched for Minnesota last year, 30 years old, has never really lived up to the hype that was projected on him. I personally don't have any interest in that. Either of you?
Yeah, me neither.
A guy like Dylan Bundy, though, like you said, there was a lot of hype around him. He's the type of guy I think he's going to figure it out one year, and somebody's going to have get lucky. It's almost like musical chairs. Whoever does sign him, when he finds it, because the Cardinals have had that happen many times where we just got a guy off what you call the scrap heap, and he'll come in. I always think of Kent Bottenfield. He won 18 games, and then we traded him for Jim Edmonds. So you just never know. You just never know.
Yeah. Johnny Cueto, 36 now, pitched for the White Sox last year, had a good half a year. I'm not too turned on by him.
Yeah, I might take a flyer on him. I mean, he did okay.
I like the style he pitches. It's almost like effortless, and he's got balls that break inside, outside. I just like the way he pitches. If the Cardinals went and got him for an extra starter, I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, I like the guy.
This gentleman had one great year and has fallen off the table. Chris Archer. I don't know what happened to him, injuries, but I have no interest in Chris Archer.
Yeah, me neither.
Right. Well, this guy was a Royal, Max, but he finished here with the Dodgers. You have any interest in Danny Duffy?
Did he throw like any innings for them? Wasn't he injured?
I don't know if he threw for them or not. I'm just reading the paper at this point.
I'll pass. Another Royals pitcher. Not too fond of them, I guess, as a whole right now.
How about a 68-year-old Anibal Sanchez?
I think I'll pass.
I didn't know he was still in the league.
I know Max is going to be interested in this guy. How about Zach Davies again?
No. Oh, he was so terrible. I saw this report. I have no idea if I believed it or not, but apparently, like, after he got traded to the Cubs, he just didn't try at all. Like, that's basically what the report said. On top of that, I think he cheated on his wife. I have no respect for that guy. He's a horrible pitcher, and he seems to be a pretty terrible person too.
Well,
That says it all.
yeah, I have nothing else to add to that.
Speaking of horrible people, Matt Harvey.
Nope.
I didn't know that Garrett Richards was still around, man. 35 years old, 34 years old, pitched for Texas last year. But I don't have any interest in him. He's not what he was. He had a few good years. All right. And we are still looking starting pitcher. Oh, this guy interests me. Mark Apple, the #1 draft pick in 2014. Was it 2014? Yeah, 2014.
Yeah, same year as Chris Bryant.
Yeah, picked ahead of Bryant. He pitched for Philadelphia last year a little bit. And I'd take a flyer on him. He's 31, but he's really got a lot, should have a lot of arm left. Talking about, like Dylan Bundy, this guy could possibly, he still throws hard. Let me see. Any other pitchers? No, that's starting pitchers. All right. Another need that we have. Third baseman. 38-year-old Justin Turner. There's been some rumblings that the Cubs are interested in him. What do you guys think about Justin Turner?
I actually really like him. I think I saw a tweet where there are like three or four bats left projected to be like a 110 WRC plus, and he's one of those guys. I mean, I think he started off really slowly, but for the second half, he just absolutely hit for the Dodgers, and he still finished with above average numbers as a whole. So yeah, I'd be interested.
You guys don't have Wisdom at third base anymore, or is he moving over to first?
Wisdom decided that after having a solid year defensively, his rookie year last year, he just was not good at third, and they've been working him out at first base too. It's looking like he's going to be DHing mostly. Yeah, it's kind of decided that Mervis is going to get the chunk of time at first, and we need a third baseman. And with our pitching staff, without having the people to blow the ball by people, we need a good defensive third base, and we need someone who can catch the ball, which is why it's very important that we get a one of the quality shortstops, so we can have a solid infield, be solid completely up the middle with Gomes catching, Swanson, Horner up the middle, and Bellinger in the outfield. So that's kind of what Wisdom is looking like at DH.
Well, Turner would be perfect then. Swanson and Turner on the left side of the infield. That'd be nice. And he brings that pedigree, that winning pedigree over, working with the young guys. Because it looks like the Cubs are going to have a lot of young players coming. Maybe 2 years with them or something. I think that's a perfect fit for you guys.
How about Evan Longoria, who's 37, who's also good defensively? He's not quite the hitter he was. There's another option. What do you guys think about Longoria?
Ooh, I'm not too fond of him. I actually think he'll sign with the Brewers. He just seems like that type of guy to sign with them. Kind of how Andrew McCutchen signed with them for 1 or 2 seasons. That's what it feels like to me.
I thought Longoria was much older. It seems like he's been around forever.
He does.
I just thought that guy was 40 years old. Wow. And then that playing out on the West Coast, I kind of lost track of him out there because, their games don't start till 9 o'clock at night. But but he seems like a quality guy. I think if I was GM of the Cubs, I'd probably rather have Turner, though.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm not just saying this because this is one Cardinal, one Cub, and one beer. This guy I'm really interested in.
Okay.
For third base, Matt Carpenter. I know he's got arm issues. He does not have the strongest arm. And he hasn't played regularly at third base for a few years. He's left-handed. He sees a ton of pitches.
Yes.
And I think no hitter in baseball is going to benefit more from the change in rules than Matt Carpenter. He retooled a swing. He had a heck of a year with the Yankees, and then he got injured. He could come to Chicago, grow your beard back, be happy, play for the right team in the rivalry. What do you guys think about Matt Carpenter coming to the Cubs and playing third base?
Not as a third baseman, but as a DH guy who can occasionally play the outfield, maybe. I I love it. He absolutely raked it this year for the Yankees. Like, just whatever he did that past offseason, it worked.
Yeah.
And I do have faith that it's going to stick a little bit.
You're exactly right about the new rules. He hit that shift more than anybody, but he makes contact. I don't see him as a third baseman anymore. His arm is kind of mediocre at best, but that guy will play anywhere you put him. When we needed a second baseman, he went to second baseman, was a very good second baseman. If he could play second for you and first, and maybe, I don't know if he can play the outfield at all. I don't think he's got a great arm anymore, but that short porch in Yankee Stadium really helped him. And you will not find a better quality guy. And it seems like every time he comes to bat, it's a 3-2 count, and he'll work that pitcher to death. So I just want success for Matt wherever he goes. So you'd be getting a quality guy, and maybe could Horner play third? I don't know, but Carpenter would play anywhere they would need him, and he'd be a good, at least a utility guy, something like that.
Charlie Culberson for the Rangers. That guy's already 33. Man.
Yeah, time flies.
Doesn't do anything for me.
Mm-mm.
This next guy intrigues me. Matt Duffy played for the Angels last year.
Former Cub.
Yeah. Right-handed. Kind of intrigues me a little bit.
He's a good utility guy.
Yeah.
So.
Marwin Gonzalez got buried on the Yankee bench. He will be 34 next year. He can play some third base, but I don't think he's going to bring the defense that we'd be looking for. This guy really intrigues me, Brandon Drury, who played for the Padres last year, who had a down year, but had a really good postseason. What do you two think of Brandon Drury? He's only 30 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I think he really benefited from playing at Cincinnati's very small ballpark. His numbers took quite a dip when he moved to San Diego, but I think overall he still was an above average hitter for them. I wouldn't be opposed to it. He's got a lot of power and could destroy the Reds. So be down for that.
We got Hap for that.
Yeah.
I think it's a good fit. He's a hard-nosed player. I think when he went over to the Padres, though, they were really struggling at the time.
Yeah.
I just think the whole team as a whole, they were I don't know if they were pressing too hard or what, but most of the time I've seen Drury, he's a lot of other teams were very interested in him. That'd be a good fit for you guys, I think.
Let's move to middle infield because I'm not even going to bring up Swanson because, that's my man crush now.
He's very handsome.
Gene Segura played second. Have him at second, Horner at short. If Swanson doesn't.
If we don't sign Swanson, I think that's what it will probably look like.
32 makes contact. That's one thing I do like about him. He does make contact, and he had some pop in the past. I don't know what happened to that.
I think he was up for the batting title. I think he finished in the top 5 in the batting title 1 year, and he's the guy who got the rally going in the first game of the playoffs.
Yeah,
he got that little blue pit in there, and the rest is history, as they say.
How about Adam Frazier? Played for Seattle last year. 31, left-hander.
Man, I don't know he had a terrible year. I'm not completely familiar with what happened to him, but yeah, he did not hit this year at all. So I think I'll pass on that.
I'd pass too. To be honest with you, I know very little about him. I've only seen a few highlights of him, so I really can't say.
Maybe there's not many highlights.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why.
This guy, I've always loved him, and I think if we were going back when he was in his late 20s, early 30s, I would say, yes, that's a guy we could plug in and play 140, 145 games a second, have Warner short. But I just think he's a little bit past his prime. He's not a full-time player anymore, but I really love Josh Harrison. I really love the way he is made up. And I'm not sure how the White Sox were so dysfunctional last year. I wonder if that skewed some of their statistics because I mean, it's hard to come to the ballpark when your team's so dysfunctional. So, but I just can't see him being a starter anymore.
How old is he?
He is
He's
35.
34. Or he'll be 35 this season. Yeah.
I'd pass on him then.
How about Cesar Hernandez from Washington? 32, plays a lot of second base.
He doesn't.
I don't know enough about Cesar Hernandez to really make a decision on that. I'm going to say no, though, just looking at his baseball reference page. He had 1 home run in 560 at-bats, which is very impressive.
Wasn't it inside the Parker?
I have no idea. That's amazing, though.
Skip. Set. I think I got a few more middle infielders. Oh, Rugnig. Oh gosh, Odor, the second baseman who played.
Punched.
Yeah, the guy who did deck.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, the Blue Jays guy.
Batista. Wasn't it Batista?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had him on my fantasy league, and my best friend had Batista. Yeah, take that, Hodge.
I'll pass on him, although he is only 28. He's pretty good defensively. He's never really lived up to the hype. I think he's played for the Rangers, the Yankees. He had a spell for them and played for Baltimore last year. So I don't know. Maybe because of his age, if we're desperate, bring him in. At least he's going to be solid at second. We keep Warner at short. What do you think, Max?
I think I'll pass. Like these are the types of signings where, like, once you get into this end of free agency, it's like, man, like, what are we doing?
Yeah. And this guy seems like he's been around forever, but he's only 34. Played for the A's last year. Also, I think he finished here with the White Sox. Elvis Andrus, once an All-Star. I don't.
He actually he hit pretty well for the White Sox, I think. Better than I was expecting when I saw that they signed him. Yeah, he was actually an above-average hitter for the White Sox. I don't know. All of these are like contingencies if Swanson doesn't get signed.
Yeah.
Like, I would be distraught if any of these signings were made, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
All right, let's finish off with catchers. Gary Sanchez played for the Twins last year. 30 years old. Any interest in Gary Sanchez?
No. He's not a defensive first catcher. His bat has potential, but I don't know. It's kind of like a Wilson Contreras, but like not nearly as good of a hitter, in my mind at least.
Never panned out what they thought he was going to be.
Yeah, a couple good years with the Yankees, but like you said, that was about it.
Omar Narvaez, 30 years old.
Yeah. As far as free agent catchers go, I think he's the best one left. He had that really dominant stretch for the Brewers. I think it was last year where he hit like 300 for the first half. So I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Is this to
I think he's my pick.
Is this to be like a 1-2 punch with Gomes? Like play 50-50?
I think Gomes is going to get the lion's share, but it's not like he's going to be catching 120, 30 games. I think, we're gonna look at like a 60-40 split.
Oh, okay. then he would be fine then, just kind of holding the fort. But yeah, he'd be fine.
Now here's a guy who fell off the earth who once won a Gold Glove, but certainly is not a Gold Glover anymore. Tucker Barnhart. Man, is he fallen off the table? He had a terrible year defensively for Detroit. So I'm not interested.
Yeah, I'm not interested either.
It's just about 2 years ago that he was a lot of teams was really wanting that guy. Detroit didn't have that great a year. I don't know. I might look at him, especially if he's going to be the 40% catching guy. He might be a perfect guy to kind of rebound with you guys. It seems like he's nice defensively. He's a good hitter. And that'd be a perfect. It's kind of like a high functioning backup, it might work.
Possibly. Austin Hedges played with Cleveland last year, 30 years old.
He's really good defensively. I'll say that. He was a god awful hitter. He hit 163 this year, but the Cleveland's pitching staff is really good, so I'm sure he contributed to their success somewhat.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him if we do get a couple of hitters at short and third. I wouldn't mind him. Jason Castro, he's 35, caught a lot for Houston this year.
I've always liked him. I've always thought he was he's a big guy. He's got some pop. Most of his career, I believe he played like 50-50% of the time. And if you're just looking for a backup, the last three guys you named would be fine, but I don't think they're really going to turn the needle much, but good quality guys. And you'd have a nice catching duo right there.
Finally, the last catcher who's kind of got some name recognition, who's a free agent, is 39-year-old Kurt Suzuki. We already have a Suzuki. Can you have two Suzukis on a team? I don't know.
Break that glass ceiling. Two Suzukis.
Yeah, and one year we had a Kawasaki on our team. Never had a Harley Davidson though. So Kurt Suzuki at his age, I'm just not too interested in that. For a backup, yeah, but not for a backup who's going to catch that much. I think Gomes is the same kind of catcher, just a little, younger. So yeah, I'll pass on him. Yeah, so the only free agents that really excite me are the third base free agents. I really like Turner. I really like Matt Carpenter, and I would like to see us pursue both of them. Turner play third. Carpenter could play all over, and on his day off, he could pinch hit for one of our weak hitting catchers. I just think he would be a perfect fit for this team. And I think it'd be fair because you got Contreras, and so far all we have has been Deluzio. So
that's fair to me. That's fair.
All right. Well, that's our free agent list. And want to thank Max for joining us. Thank you once again.
Get better, Max.
Oh, yeah.
JJ, you were going to spotlight
Ray Lankford.
Ray Lankford, yeah.
Oh, yes. Ray Lankford. I tell you what, I'm going to go do a little history lesson of the Cardinals. Every team's got peaks and valleys. Well, in my lifetime, that was a very shaky time in Cardinal history. I'm going to take you back to 1989, September 30th. Augie Busch passes away. And his family took over the team. And to be honest with you, they just didn't have the desire or the want to really run the team. Augie Busch wanted to win. He was a great owner. The players loved him. Well, then it was July 6, 1990. Whitey Herzog just steps down. He doesn't want any part of it anymore. He said, "You got too many prima donnas here," and he leaves. So at that time, the Cardinals, we were never big free agent buyers or anything like that. We would bring people in. We mainly dealt with draft picks and trades. That was really what we did. And Whitey was great at trades. He'd move all kinds of people around. And he was the big part of the success in the 80s. But then the 90s came and we hired Joe Torre. Now, everybody knows Joe Torre as the guy who led the Yankees to all the World Championships. But when he came to the Cardinals, he was just a radio announcer, and nobody thought he could be a great manager. He'd been out of the game for a long time, except for announcing games. And Joe came here, and he did a great job with what he had. And basically, the Cardinals just brought up their farm team predominantly, and we got a bunch of older veterans through those 5 years. I mention those 5 years because that's when the Brewery still owned the team, but Augie wasn't around anymore. And I'm going to hold up. I've got this. This is a neat for all you collectors too. It's a special frame where you can put the team together in their positions. I'm trying to find the right angle there. And let me see if I can find. It's almost like the opposite of the directions.
Yeah.
But you and all of these back then, I will say this. The team made their play. It's almost like that movie about the Indians when they were really bad and they just kind of grouped together and won it for the, because they hated the owner so bad. But the team really made the players accessible. They would be at like the Hall of Fame. If you bought a Hall of Fame ticket, you go down there and they'd sign a couple of items. So I basically got the whole 90s teams autographed, and that's kind of what I did back then. We brought up a catcher, Tom Pagnazzi. We had several first basemen in those years, Greg Jeffries and Pedro Guerrero. Geronimo Pena, who is Jeremy Pena's of the Astros' father, which I just found that out this year. Ozzie Smith was the legend. And one thing I love about the Cardinals is we seem to keep players a long time, and the fans love them. You can watch them. Your kids can watch them. It's when you get married and have kids, and you can take them to the ballpark and see that same player. So Ozzie was here from like 82 to 96. Todd Zeal came up out of the minors. Bernard Gilkey. We had Brian Jordan we got. And then our center fielder was Ray Lankford. And Ray Lankford, California kid, we drafted him. He played from 1990 to 2001 with the Cardinals, went to the Padres a couple of years. He got injured and set out 2003 and came back in 2004 and finished with the Cardinals. I'm telling you what, this guy, he was, even though Ozzie was like the captain of the team, Ray was probably the best player during those years. He played those, he debuted August 21st in 1990, and he was drafted in the third round by the Cardinals. In those years, though, I'm going to go over the records. In 1990, the Cardinals were 70-92. Oh, that was rough. That was brutal. These fans today wouldn't know how to handle that. I'm telling you what, the Cub fans are tougher than us. If the Cubs win 55 games, that place is packed. They're there. I'm telling you, if the Cardinals had only won 55 games, we'd have each fan would have a beer man with them. That's how I'm telling you, Cardinal fans are spoiled right now. We've had 15 years of winning, and it's great to win, but you got to set through those losing years too. And sometimes it happens. In 91, we were 84 and 78, and we finished second in the division. So we went from last place to second place. 92, we won 83 games. So we were 4 games over 500. In 84, 87 and 75, and finished third. In 94, 83 and 61, finished third. And in 95, that last year, we were 81 and 81. And when I say bleak time, I mean, the Cub fans are like, what are you talking about? There was one very bad year there. And why I say that is the DeWitt family bought the team the winter between 95 season and 96. And then they brought in Tony La Russa, and the rest was history. But when you were a Cardinal fan back then, you basically were seeing Ozzie Smith play, Bob Tewksbury pitch. We had Lee Smith in the bullpen, and a bunch of young guys out there trying to make a name for themselves. And Ray Lankford did make a name for himself. There's a statistic. Matter of fact, Ray Lankford is 5th all-time Cardinal home runs at 228. That's amazing. That's great. He's 10th in RBIs. He's 5th in walks all time. And, the Cardinals, the Cubs, the Pirates, the Reds, these are old organizations. And anytime you make the top 10 in any list on that team's books. That's pretty amazing. Stolen bases, he's eighth with 250. And there's a statistic, Vince, I've never heard of. Never heard of this stat. I'm still not quite sure what it is, but it's power slash speed and a pound sign. And I don't know how they come up with this number, but he's number one. And I believe this is probably like a 1980s to present day statistic. So a lot of those, most of the history of the game, those players are not even included in this. But he rates number one all time St. Louis with speed and power at 238.5. I don't know what the heck they're talking about there, but he's number one with a bullet. Flip side of that, he's second all time in strikeouts, only to Lou Brock, and Lou only had like thousands more at bats than Ray Lankford. But lifetime, some of his statistics here, I just kind of wanted to go over him. His batting average, lifetime batting average, 273. He was a stocky guy. He ran the bases. He could go first to third. He covered the outfield really well. I remember one time he ran. Back then, we didn't have hardly any padding on our home run wall at Busch Stadium, the original Busch Stadium.
Yeah.
And he got hurt running into that wall, and it was pretty brutal. Now they have that chicken wire in some of the places, and and even though, hey, it would hurt to run into the wall, back then it was just concrete because that Busch Stadium was also a football field, and they would just move the stands around. And I know Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Cardinals had those old dual stadiums right there. So Ray covered the outfield. It was an AstroTurf field. It's pretty rough on your knees and legs. He is in the red jacket club. He got voted in, no doubt about it. I think in that time period, he was probably our best player. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he's a Cardinal Hall of Famer. Okay, so we have 273 batting average, 339 lifetime doubles, 52 triples, 228 home runs, and 250 stolen bases. So, 220 home runs, 250 stolen bases. That's pretty great. And so he kind of holds in our time period, he kind of goes from I would say the Joe Torre years all the way through the La Russa years. And from players, he would go from, let's see, 1990, that would be right there. Well, Ozzie Smith all the way up to through McGuire and all the way to Pujols. So, and that little, holding that time period together. So I just wanted to bring some attention to Ray Lankford, a great Cardinal, played with us for, a total of 13 seasons. And that's what I love about the Cardinals. We have those players like Carpenter, you mentioned a while ago, has played 10 or more years with us. And of course, we just said goodbye to Yachty and Pujols and Wainwright this year. So anyway, 1990s. If you get a chance, I've been so hard up for baseball. I've been watching the All-Star game from last year. I watched 2002 All-Star game. I got a little tear in my eye. Oh yeah, Ray Lankford was a one-time All-Star. Never won a Gold Glove, but a real good player.
I think the year that he was an all-star, he started as a DH. DH wasn't voted in, of course, by the National League, but I think that they started him at DH.
Oh, okay.
And I know McGuire was really, he thought he was the best protection that he had when he came to the Cardinals. I've never had protection like Ray Lankford. And Lankford is kind of like Simmons, not a Hall of Famer like Simmons, but kind of like Simmons, in that Simmons caught all during the 70s when the Cardinals were not that great of a team. And Lankford, I guess the only playoff experience he had was 96. And 90 and 04 when he was at the tail end of his career. That's probably why he gets overlooked a lot.
Yeah, I mean, those were kind of some lean years, and the 90s, just the Cardinals weren't great. We were getting there. We were starting to put some things together. And you know how that is, Vince. It takes a while. Sometimes it's just a piece here and a piece there. I wish Lankford could have enjoyed some of the more prosperous years, but
sometimes it takes 108 years.
Sometimes it takes 108 years. Yeah. But that's it on Ray Lankford I have.
All right. I'm going to table, due to time, I'm going to table Kerry Wood until another time.
All right.
JJ, I am opening another package of 2022 Topps baseball cards. So
Woo! All right.
I am in the right century for the second time
Yes.
we've been doing this show. What are you opening?
I'm opening 1992 Donruss. I don't even remember what these cards look like, so I'm kind of excited. Here's what the front cover looks like.
Ah,
Right there. I got
very
these
pretty.
they got a Kmart price tag on them right there.
Ah, I'll go ahead and go first, being I got. Oh wow. These are the retro cards.
All right.
First retro card, Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn. I love it. Love it. Love it.
Second retro card, Roger Clemens,
Rocket Roger. That's right.
good friend of Mindy McCready.
Yeah.
Oh, and now we're into the modern age, but still has the retro look. For the Colorado Rockies, former All-Star Charlie Blackmon,
Charlie Blackmon got the beard, world class beard right there.
the best beard in baseball.
I agree, hands down.
Here's a man who could have been a Cub, should have been a Cub, Jose Abreu.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. Every time they sign with somebody else, I light a candle.
Most valuable player 2021, Mr. Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper.
Best hair in baseball. And I've got three more retro cards. I knew this guy. He was a little before my time as a pitcher, but I always liked him on ESPN's baseball show back in the day, Mr. Don Drysdale, who has passed away.
Oh, yes.
Drysdale, Koufax, oh gosh, Claude Osteen.
Oh, yeah, Osteen.
Don Sutton was young. Those 60s pitching stats for the Dodgers were just awesome.
That's the team. They draft and get these guys ready for the big leagues better than any team. Those Dodger pitchers.
Yeah, phenomenal. They do.
Man, I'm jealous.
Oh, the first African-American in the American League, Mr. Larry Doby, Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, Larry Doby. All right. I like that uniform.
I do too. And JJ brought him up as one that he thinks should be in the Hall of Fame, and I concur with that. The late Thurman Munson.
Thurman Munson. Tough guy.
Oh, yeah. Just a gritty ball player. I hated him because he was a Yankee, and my American League team was the Royals, and that rivalry in the late 70s.
Tough.
Yeah, and you had Munson and
Fisk. I'm sorry. The catchers. I was mentioning the catchers. Yeah.
I was thinking about the Royals catcher.
Was it John Rotham? They had a John Waltham.
Wathan was a catcher, but Porter had a couple of All-Star years, and yeah, just a great rivalry. So.
Munson was the kind of guy, if he's on the other team, you hate him, but if he's on your team, you love him. One of those kind of guys. Oh, yeah. I'd love to have Thurman Munson on my team anytime. I heard one quick story. Munson and Reggie Jackson weren't friends, but if they ever wanted to call somebody out when they were on the bus, they would both start arguing until the guy they really wanted to attack would say something, and then they both turn on him and then chew him out. That's devilish tactics right there. Well, this is what the 92 Donruss looks like right there, and that's Terry Mulholland. Very nice. Cub. Yeah, very good picture right there. I like that action picture right there, and it looks like they're at Veterans Stadium because they got those those retired numbers on the wall. Yankee Scott Sanderson looks like he's about to throw a sidearm right there.
Former Cub.
What the heck is going on? Yeah. All right. Now this is a former Cardinal, Felix Jose. Felix. We had high regard for him, but he never lived up to what we were hoping for.
I think he had one pretty good season for the Cardinals, and then just never could match it.
That's the back of the card. Pretty nice. I like that. Statistics, a little story in there. That's pretty good. Oh, this guy, I think this is with the Royals, but Mike Boddicker. I'm sorry.
Oh, Mike Boddicker. Yeah. Through the forkball. Yes.
Yeah, and he was the one, I believe it was like he was the number 2 starter when they won the World Series. When the Orioles won the World Series. Some of these guys, John Burkett, he was a 20-game winner with the Giants.
Yes, he was.
And I heard he was a great bowler, could bowl 300.
That is correct. Yes, he is like Mookie Betts is also a great bowler. So
All right, I've got a little name game for you. I'm going to show you this card, and you tell me the first person that pops in your head. All right.
okay,
All right. White Sox, Robin Ventura.
Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan. Yeah. oh, this guy. This is my hero. He's a wild man. I tell you what. Rob Dibble. Nasty boy extraordinaire.
I was not a fan. I'm not a fan of players who hurl baseballs at fans in the stands. No,
He's crazy. Yeah, he's out of control. But man,
yeah,
every team needs one. We had Bob Uecker. You know, they had Rob Dibble. A good solid guy, helped any team he was with. Rafael Bellard with the Braves right there.
Yeah, played for the Pirates too.
Oh yeah, very good player. I like those Braves uniforms. I kind of think instead of the bat, they have the tomahawk on there. I like that. Let's see. Oh, we're almost done. We got 2 left, and I think of this guy as an Expo/Cub, the Hawk, Andre Dawson. We run into a lot of. There he is, getting off of second base right there. Great player, man. That guy. I wish they made more guys like that. And again, they have a special Donruss Kings, and we can't play the name game on this, but the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas, right there. Look at him smiling. He's been taking some of those pills, Vince.
Poor Frank. We pick on him all the time.
He keeps coming up. Hey, he's taking the pills. That's right.
Oh. Well, that is our show for today. Next week, we are going to do our holiday show, and we are going to play a game. Yes, and it's not going to be poker.
Card or Cub?
Yes, Card or Cub.
The answer is either Cardinals or Cubs. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll learn something.
And next week, I'm going to break the news that Dansby Swanson is the new Cubs shortstop.
I hope so.
New third baseman, Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, and we'll have Carlos Rondon as our number 1 ace of our staff.
You'll have Carlos Smith. Come on.
Probably.
Well, JJ, happy birthday once again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I guarantee you your cake was just wonderful. Thank you for letting me eat in front of you. I'm not going to regurgitate the cake and give it to you, but I will make sure the next time we see each other, you'll get your birthday gifts, okay?
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it.
No problem. You have a good one.
Take care, Vince.
All right. Bye-bye.